There's Bor's ship.
Close me.
Space Ace hit US arcades in the year 1984. The game was developed by Advanced Microcomputer Systems, published by Cinematronics, and produced by Don Bluth Studios. If that name sounds familiar, it's because Don Bluth is a legend in the animation industry, directing and writing over 18 animation projects, most notably An American Tail, The Land Before Time, and The Secret of Nymph. Space Ace was nearly identical in terms of gameplay from its previous game, Dragon's Lair, which had come out in June of 1983, and had become a huge success. The game has a theme of science fiction and space rather than high fantasy medieval like Dragon's Lair.
Kimberly, come in. Are you okay?
Oh, sure. I'm just kidnapped by aliens, that's all.
I'll save you, Kimmy.
Get me out of here!
In Space Ace, you follow an adventurer named Dexter, who prefers to be called Ace. He fights against the villainous Commander Borf, who's kidnapped his girlfriend Kimberly, and zaps him with the Infanto Ray, which transforms Ace into a wimpy adolescent version of himself. However, Ace can activate a device that allows him to temporarily return to normal. The gameplay involves the player moving in certain directions or pressing the fire button during certain cues on screen. The game is basically one gigantic QuickTime event, and it's very trial and error. The unique thing about this game is you were given more than one option at certain points. For example, there may be a point where you could hit the fire button, transform, and fight the on-screen enemies. Or maybe instead, at the same point in time, you activated the joystick, triggering a different event. So now instead of fighting the enemies, you're dodging them. It added a level of variety to the game. Like I mentioned before, the game was a quarter eater, requiring a lot of learning by way of trial and error. Much like Dragon's Lair, the game looked beautiful with its hand-drawn animations, and although the death scenes aren't nearly as funny or creative as they are in Dragon's Lair, they're still a joy to watch. The game was ported to every home console imaginable. While most ports couldn't hold a candle to the arcade cabinet itself, the versions on the Philips CDI and Laserdisc looked nearly identical to its arcade counterpart, but that's probably due to them being released nearly 7 years later. The Atari ST version of the game came with 4 floppy disks. The official arcade was eventually ported to PC in 2013 and Android in 2012. Have a request for an arcade corner? Tweet me and include #ArcadeCorner. For more videos like this and everything else gaming related, you're already in my place. You're on Shacknews.com. Next time on Shack's Arcade Corner. Hi guys, Greg here, and next week is a very big week for us at Shacknews because it is the 100th episode of Shack's Arcade Corner. I wanted to do something kind of special for it. Since I kind of live in the middle of nowhere at the current point in time, there's no really arcades close to me, so I actually want to have you guys ask me questions. About arcade games, about the show, about retro video games, whatever you want. You can go ahead and leave a reply on Twitter, and then next week I will tackle any questions. I'll also maybe talk about some of my favorite arcade games I played growing up. So be sure to subscribe and like the video, and thanks so much you guys. I appreciate all your views and support.